He left the warehouse behind and is taking a much-needed break in Wilmot Works It Out, a new game by Hollow Ponds published by Finji. Having been laid off in a wave of automation at the end of Wilmot's warehouse, our boxy friend finds himself with a lot of downtime. He joins a puzzle club to work it out, it being both puzzles and, it seems, burnout. It's not at all necessary to have played the first game, but those who did will find the controls similar. Pick up one or a series of pieces, shift them around Wilmot, and drop them individually or as a group. The goal is simple: slide pieces together to complete puzzles and adorn your bare walls with some art. You'll have all the pieces you need to complete a puzzle eventually. These boxes must have been packed by robots because each one contains a sloppy mix of 2 or more puzzles. You'll have to separate portions with similar colors or shapes and hope they end up together. But the puzzles are thoughtfully designed with overlapping patterns to increase the gameplay complexity. Often I would gather similar pieces like mushroomy white spots on an orange background, only to find that they were partially mushroom and partially cheetah. One of the game's 8 seasons has a particularly dastardly puzzle pair, titled Tools and More Tools. Other times, the puzzles were split into pieces such that the smallest little details showed up in the corners, like one puzzle with a number of fashionable people riding escalators. Whether you solve based on shapes, textures, or content, you should be able to find your way through. As you might expect, the game has a lot of similarities with Wilmot's Warehouse, an organizational game about big box storage. Players chose how to organize the indomitable waves of boxes so they could retrieve the right stack at a moment's notice. It was beloved for its soothing, straightforward gameplay. It was an iconic podcast game. I hated it. It fundamentally stressed me out. There was always too many boxes, too many metrics of organization. How would I ever know when everything was where it needed to be? This game has none of those pitfalls. The pacing and number of pieces was never overwhelming. I always knew when a piece was in its place because it snapped neatly in with a satisfying sound effect. And unlike the depressing loneliness of the warehouse, Wilmot Works It Out is about slowly building up a lovely new friendship. As a reward for solving a puzzle, you'll get a short conversation with Sam, your mail woman. The fairly low-key story arc follows Sam and Wilmot as they become better friends. She tells him about her travels, invites him on hikes, and even joins the same puzzle club to commiserate over some of the harder solutions. The budding relationship elevates this above a simple, well-designed puzzle game. Not by much, but by enough to provide a satisfying sense of progress. This feels like a game born of the pandemic, focused on stay-at-home hobbies, loneliness, and the shining light of little habitual interactions, the kind that many people missed only when they had disappeared. The final puzzle in particular puts a shine on this, but you'll have to get there yourself to see it. Wilmot Works It Out balances the satisfyingly menial gameplay with a sweet through line for a pleasing, uncomplicated experience. As the days get shorter and colder, and you yearn to stay in and watch a movie while playing a forthright little game, Wilmot is here for you. Wilmot Works It Out is available on PC and Mac for $14.99.